When you're a PhD student or a postdoc, then of course your most important task is to get your job done and to progress your scientific content. You're deeply immersed in thinking about the setup of your project, your methods, your goals and your plan. You are so much immersed in these activities, like an ostrich putting your head into the sand, that the danger is that you miss out on important things, like building the essential skills that you need to build early in your career in order to benefit from them, already now and also later. So this video is meant to support you in answering the question, which skills should I build? Thus, if you are currently a PhD student or a postdoc or plan to be one of both, you can find some very useful tips here in this video. My name is Matthias Meyer. I'm running this channel and support young scientists with all the essential soft skills that are relevant in order to live the life of your dreams in reasonable time. So how do you go about this question? Which skills should I focus on and which do I not need to focus on right now? I believe it's a set of 7 important areas that you should consider even while working on your PhD or while you are within your postdoc and not waiting until you finish these career steps. So what are these 7 skills? The first and perhaps most important skill, I believe, is time and self-management. You need to become really good at managing your own scientific projects well. You need to be able to plan well, to develop a set of habits that guarantee that you are producing meaningful, relevant, essential content quickly, without forgetting about your own personal well-being. You want to feel happy and fulfilled and even balanced already while you are working on your scientific topics and not waiting until you reach your goals. So time and self-management would be the first recommendation to look at. So ask yourself, are you already good at that? Are you satisfied with your skill so far? Or do you want to deepen your knowledge in this topic? The second topic or skill that I would recommend to look at is the ability to read and write well. Both are critical activities that every scientist must be able to do well and also time efficiently. Third, a topic that I deeply enjoy myself and that I think is highly underdeveloped out there is scientific presentation. I believe you as a scientist have the obligation to become really good at it. And I think it's a shame that professors are allowed to get professors at all who are not able to present well. It's a shame, it's discouraging, and it's frustrating and demotivating complete cohorts of young, inspired, and gifted students. I want you to consider, are you already good at this? Or do you want to focus on expanding your knowledge in this field? So many scientific presentations are unnecessarily boring, or they are unclear or difficult to understand, and they are not really fun to follow. Completely unnecessary. You can work against this. Just learn how to do this properly early. 4, career development and job application. This is a field that many scientists neglect, unfortunately. It's one of the few things I think you definitely want to put your focus on early enough before you want to have the job. Because it just doesn't work the way that you can end your dissertation, then start these activities and expect to find immediately a new job. It just doesn't work that way. My recommendation usually is to start 2 years or 1.5 years before you want to have the new position with your activities. In our courses, you can learn step by step which steps you need to take in order to do this process successfully. 5, you want to look at your communication skills. Communication is essential in your work as a scientist, for example, during your doctorate in the relationship with your supervisor, who is at that time in your life one of the most influential persons, but also with other people around you, even with people with whom you have a private relationship. As a scientist, you want to pay special attention to your ability to communicate your science in a crystal clear way, even to a broader public. So this becomes increasingly important. And you want to also be good at reaching your goals by the means of communication. So you want to become very good at negotiating, at dealing even with conflict situations, because there will be conflicts. Whenever two or more people work together, there will be conflicts. It's a law. And conflicts aren't a bad thing naturally. So they are great opportunities to clarify needs, to broaden your scope of the diversity of creatures out there, and to develop solutions with which both of you can live with. So dealing with conflicts would be the sixth topic that I want you to look at. Especially during phases like a doctorate, where you have specific people around you, like your supervisor. And in many cases, it's very likely that this relationship is prone for conflicts. Not because supervisors would be difficult people by nature, at least not all of them are, but because there is a built-in conflict of interest in this relationship. You as a PhD student, you want to finish in time, you want to do your job successfully and finish your thesis. And your supervisor, as more and more knowledgeable you become, wants to keep you longer and longer. So at the end of the dissertation, there might be a conflict upcoming, which is completely understandable, built into the relationship. It just means you need to focus on it. And you need to do a good job in communicating early enough about your expectations and meeting agreements that both of you can live with in a way that you can remember at the end. So look at your ability to deal with conflicts. A final important skill that could be valuable to build already during your scientific education is leadership. Many jobs out there require leadership abilities, so if this seems to be a desirable direction for you to go, it's great to focus on it already during your academic education. If you're able later to demonstrate that you are already collected some valuable experience with it, you have a much better chance to get the positions that actually require it. Think about ways how you can develop already now your leadership abilities. For example, you could start just to supervise one or two bachelor or master students over a certain period of time, or take responsibility for coordinating an international research cooperation, or a publication with several authors. All this can be small projects where you can convince later in a job interview, when you apply in industry, for example. And this would be much more convincing compared to just telling them, hey, and at that point I visited a 2-day seminar on leadership. So convince with practical experience. These are the areas that I want you to consider deeply when you think about how do you want to grow your skills and with which of them should you start. Don't make the mistake to get lost between all the different directions in which you could go and which skills you could build, and don't try to start building them all at once. What I recommend you is to set clear priorities and develop a very specific plan which skills you want to develop first. Only one or two of them, and how you want to do that and when. In order to support you in this process, I developed 2 different tools that you can download for free, one for doctoral students and one for postdocs. Both are interactive PDFs that you can fill out with some formulas inside that guide you through a step-by-step process of analyzing what skills do I need to focus on and which are the most important ones to start with. So you find both documents, both growth plans linked below in the description of this video, and you can start right away with this process. Usually it takes about 20 minutes to maximum 1 hour to fill out these PDFs, and while doing that you should gain valuable insights in how to exactly shape your individual growth project. So if you're listening now and you feel inspired, just download your document right away, sit down and create your own individual growth plan. I wish you a lot of fun and insights, and perhaps we see us again in one of the videos or courses I provide. I wish you the best for your career. It's a blessing being able to working with you. Stay healthy and happy and motivated. Namaste.